All right. It says we're live. So, welcome from the crossroads of America. Talk show shooting with disabilities. We also talk guns, politics, or anything else that crosses our mind. Answer questions from the audience. Put them either in the chat or by email to rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page. PayPal and all that. All the information's down there in the info section below. So I'm running late. I was telling Jason, my cousin called me up, and I said, I can't talk long. I got my show to get ready. I mean, I got rid of her about 5 to 7. You know, but that's why I'm so far behind here and so mixed up. Anyway, let's see who's in the room. Let's see who's arrived in the chat. Mystic Guns was first, beat Kingpin. Wow. Kingpin was second. Jason Stewart. Who else we got in here? Who's coming in? Sabrina's here. Travis T's here. So they're all starting to crawl in now. And my panelists so far tonight, I have Jason Stewart. How you doing?
Oh, I'm old and grumpy. I wouldn't have it any way. Having time of my life. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah. Then we got the New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Then we got the one and only Kingpin.
Hey, Rick. What's happening? Good to see everybody tonight. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Did I see something that something about your governor running for president or something in 2024 or some shit?
This is another one where I'm far out ahead of the news. Larry Hogan is going to run for president. I will spend every waking hour and every penny that I have and every drop of blood that I have to prevent that man from becoming president.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm warning everyone now. So heed my warning or not. Call me crazy. Call me stupid if you want. If you are stupid enough to vote for Larry Hogan, you're going to get what you deserve.
All right, there you go. You heard it from the man himself. Then we got the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Patriot in the Dark. Talk to me, Patriot.
No, I just had to yell at the kids. Hello, everybody. I'm not old and I'm not grumpy. Well, maybe I am.
Maybe not the old part.
No, I'm old. I think. I don't know. I'm having a good day, though.
That's good. I actually, besides being thrown behind schedule with my cousin talking to me, but I had a pretty good day. I mean, I said I was out in the diner this morning hanging out with the old boys, and one of them said, "What you doing after here?" I said, "Nothing." He says, let's take a ride down to Dave's gun shop. He says, "I'm looking for some 9mm. I said, "I'll go for the ride. I'll see if they got any, any small primers." We went down there. No primers whatsoever. They had shotgun primers, but no pistol, rifle, or anything other kind of primer. No powder. They did have 2 boxes of 9mm on the shelf, and my friend got those. And he said he said I ordered 10 cases, and he said I got 2. So he said I put them out on the shelf this morning. He said that's the last of them. So
what's the difference? I get, a small pistol primer is going to be small, and a large rifle primer is going to be bigger, apparently by the names. But what's the difference in a shotgun primer? What makes that different from a pistol or a rifle primer?
That's even bigger.
It's bigger.
It won't fit. I mean, for one, it won't fit inside the primer pocket on the brass. Like 9mm 380 and stuff like that. They use the small pistol primer. Anything bigger normally uses the. I mean, there is 45 ACP. I've actually shot some that had small pistol primers in them. But that's all. I mean, that's very rare that I come across that, but they're out there, you know. But basically, that's what and rifle primers is for you know, you could, they do Magnum small primers, you know, for like 22 Magnum or stuff like that, or 9, or you're doing a heavy load in something else. But their work. Like I've got some Magnum primers, small ones for my 380. They're fire. Normally it takes a bit from what I'm no expert, but from what I can understand, your firing pin has to hit that just a little bit harder. So if you got a weak firing pin, it might not set off the Magnum primer. I'm not certain on that, but that's what I was told. So there you go. That answer your question?
Yeah, they have different primers because of like the different amount of powder in each load. Like a pistol only holds a little bit of primer, or a little bit of powder, I mean, but a rifle will hold 10 times as much. So it just requires a different primer to set it off efficiently.
Yeah. But like you said, with that 45 that had the small pistol primer, they're going to be different brass, right? I mean, you can't put a small one in a big one.
Oh, no, it's different brass. Oh yeah. So, I mean, I've done that. The reason how I found that, actually, I never fired them. I picked them up at the range when I was picking up a bunch of brass, and I'm trying, you know, and I'm reloading, and I put one of those in there, and the primer won't go in, and I'm trying to jam it in there, thinking, what in the hell is wrong with this? You know, and I pull it out, and then I realize it's a small primer pocket. I said, well, shit, you know. So I still got those 45 shells sitting in a bag. I got maybe about 25 of them. You know, I might reload them one day with a small primer to see how they work. But
with the milsurp stuff, like the foreign stuff you get from the Eastern Bloc or whatever, you know, the ones that are harder primers, is that size wise, or is that just the thickness of the
just the thickness of what it takes to fire them?
Yeah, how hard it is to make it go off.
Yeah.
But you could use those in a large. I mean, besides being from somewhere else, but the brass is going to be the same anyway. So
yeah.
Don't mind me.
I mean, like I said, I've been using Magnum, small Magnum primers in my 380. So it's going to, I mean, it's a brand new firearm. So the firing pin should have no problem setting them off. You know what I'm saying? Because the Magnum takes a little bit more zip to get it to fire.
I thought because you had the gold on there, it needed the Magnums.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but they work. I fired them in there, so it does work. So then, okay. Oh, you should see what happened to me yesterday. I know I'm waiting for people to get in here. 2 live moves joined us. Roll calls in here. Defense Dad. They're all coming in. I'm getting popular nowadays. What you call it? My cousin, the one who has this, you know, the I call it a scrap your junkyard with all the trucks and stuff in his front yard and everything else. Well, I went down there yesterday, and I pulled into his driveway, and his son's there. I said, "Where is the big guy?" And he goes, "Oh, he's in Tennessee." He said, "What do you need?" And I said, "Well, I was hoping that he would, or if he knows somebody who would come and take my washer and dryer out for me." He said, "Oh, I'll come and get it." He said, "We'll just throw it here, and when the scrap guy comes, we'll just load it on there for the scrap metal." I said, "Okay, when you come?" He said, I'll be there. He said, "Just let me finish up this and I'll be there." So I rushed home, get everything ready, clear all the space had to move all the furniture. My back was killing me after I'd done all that. Well, it's now 7 p.m. on Wednesday, and I'm still waiting for him to show up. He's just like his goddamn father. You know?
That's family.
He's on the way.
Yeah. I mean, like his father, when I was trying to get my car fixed when I first moved there. It took me 4 days to get his ass up here, you know? And so I'm going to have to go. I mean, I don't mind. I'll drive down there tomorrow and see what happened to him. Get him to come and do it. I want them out before I order my new ones, because they're going to deliver them. And I can't have the old one. And I had where I'm buying them from. They won't take the old ones away. So that's my problem. And don't say go here and there, do that. It's a matter of financing is what I got to look at. So that's all I'm going to say. But I got some at a good deal. I can get a washer and dryer at a good deal delivered, set up. So that's all I'm worried about. So, all right. So besides my little escapade in the last couple of days, that's it. I noticed though I've been wearing, I took them off before I came on here. But I've been wearing my compression gloves all day today. I even wore them down to Deb's Diner. My hands were hurting so bad this morning. And they don't look swollen, but it hurt. Especially my left hand. It hurts to touch it right here, and my thumb and right here, just touching it, it hurts like hell. It's the old arthritis in there.
So I got some really, really great advice from a doctor one time. When I said, hey, it hurts when I do this, doc, he said, don't do that.
Yeah, you're right. My right hurts too, but not as much as the left. It's just what I'm thinking of doing. I was reading somewhere. I need to start looking at what I'm eating because they say certain foods aggravate arthritis. So I got to find out which foods that is. More likely, it's all the foods I like.
My mom is really into that. She has, I thought she had rheumatoid, but it's actually the psoriatic arthritis. Yeah. So it's the stuff with the organs and the connective tissue, and not really the bones. So she had the issues where her skin would crack. It was just horrible for her. But she met some crazy lady in, I believe it was Atlantic Beach. They go down to the South Carolina or whatever every year, and a lady said that she had the exact same issue, and she started eating for her blood, which is whatever. It's some book they have, and it says whatever your blood type is, there's certain foods that aggravate things with it, and she follows that. And for the last, I'd say 6-7 years, her skin has been fine. It used to be where she'd have to wear gloves; she couldn't touch anything. It was just really bad for her. And so doing that, but if she does slip and she eats tomatoes, or with her, she doesn't eat pork or chicken. She'll eat beef and turkey, but no corn, no wheat. But she's like really strict with it because otherwise, she doesn't want any issues. So she really follows it. But yeah, I can see if I can find out the name of that book. She gave it to me, but I don't deal with books. So
the crazy lady wasn't crazy.
No, she probably was crazy. Those beachcomber people.
Doesn't mean she was wrong, though. Huh?
No, but it really does help her because if she slips, sometimes there's she loves to have whatever it is, if you're cooking something and it's got a little bread or something, because she uses rice flour instead of the wheat and different things, so she makes things and it's comparable, but she'll go to a restaurant and she'll want to try something, and she'll call up the next day. It's like, oh, I'm hurting. It really gets to her because she's been on it, strict and stuff like that. But where she couldn't pick up things because her hands were just open. It was bad. It was bad. It's one of those things you don't.
Yeah, I know. I know the arthritis where the skin looks all horrible and pucky and flaky.
Well, it cracks and it just like open splits.
Oh yeah, I know.
You know how if you get your hands are dry, or you get get hurt or burnt or something, you get a cut or something, and you know how much of a pain it is just because you're grabbing with your hand every day or something like that. It's like that cut on your mouth that you can't forget about, because every time you do something, it's right there. If it's on your hand, it's. I mean, she used to like put gloves on, like the thin gloves, just so
Yeah.
that it wouldn't snag. It was just horrible for her, that all that misery and stuff. But she is doing a lot better.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, do you
But
think?
yeah, it's something, but just because Rob said to do it, I probably wouldn't.
Well, Defense Dad says he finds that if he drops a heavy stuff on his toes, then my arthritis in my wrist doesn't bother him as much. I can see that working. Then Midnight Rain says to cut out wheat and see what happens.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff like that. I mean, she uses a lot of that rice flour stuff, and she makes breads and all sorts of things, and it's a little more.
I mean, I understand kind of
labor,
the gluten thing, but when did gluten become a problem? I don't remember gluten being talked about when I was a kid. Now,
a glutton, maybe.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
I've always been a glutton for punishment, but gluten, you know what I'm saying? It's and like the other one, people who are dairy products. Was it lactose intolerant? When did that become a thing?
That's probably always been a thing. I mean, just like
And
diabetes
also,
has been
as a
around for a
kid-
long time, but
As a kid, I don't remember there being such a big thing on the odd kid, but peanut butter allergies or peanut allergies. I mean, it seems more kids are allergic to peanuts now than there ever was.
Well, I think our food nowadays is full of so many additives, preservatives, chemicals. There's hardly any real food left in it. I think maybe, and every year it gets worse and new inventions in that field. So like the food we're eating in some way just has to be poisoning us too at the same time.
You got a good point, because American cheese, right, is only two molecules short of plastic anyway.
And it probably doesn't help that people are sitting in front of little screens all day and sitting on the couch and a lot more. I mean, it used to be that, you wouldn't sit down until it was dinner time and you actually got home and up until that point, you might have sat for lunch or something, but that's why in the middle of those farmer fields, there's one tree that's for lunch. Everything else was cut down, right?
Yeah.
So next time you're in the grocery store, go to the cheese aisle, pick up your sliced Velveeta or whatever, your sandwich cheese, and you'll read right on the front. It says cheese product.
Yeah.
Or if you're from Canada, it's processed cheese.
That's right. As Pueblo says, lactose intolerant is just gas.
Yeah.
Peanut allergies are fake news. So there you go. You heard it from the man himself.
Well, yeah, you got to have a man card, or otherwise you get pushed around too much for the food wimpy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already I'm on the verge of losing my main card already, because I shoot a 380. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on the verge of losing my main card as it is.
It's gold.
Rick,
It's
we're
gold,
live. Don't say that live, Rick.
But it is pimped out in gold though, which makes up for it. It's a sweet looking gun, So
it's just for pistol whipping.
That's right. And it's like somebody told me this joke, and I can't remember what it was, but was it why gangsters are such bad shots? Because there's no sights on the side of the firearm, because they hold it sideways.
Unless you got a high point.
Yeah. So.
Talk to Snob; he'll hook you up.
Talk to who?
The gun snob.
Oh, well, High Points.
Yeah, he put a red dot on the side of his.
Hey, nothing wrong with High Point. I don't own one, but I have shot one. It was a 45 ACP when I first got into things. A friend of mine had one. He bought it years ago as a joke. He said, "Look at this thing," and I mean that thing was enormous.
Oh, that's a big brick of a gun.
Oh yeah, but I shot
I
it.
just seen-
You know, as he says, people laugh and joke about him, make fun of them, but he says they work.
I got an email today that 9C, I guess whatever one that is, was $176 or something today.
Oh yeah.
Just look at the bright side, Rick. If the first gun you would have shot was a Glock, you wouldn't be a gun guy now. You'd have been like, what is this trash? I'm never messing with another gun again.
You're right. I have shot a Glock too, and don't get me wrong. If you're in the Glocks, fine, but they don't work for me. I don't like the way the grip feels in my hand. It don't feel right. That's why I went with the M&P when I first bought my first firearm, because it felt good in my hand. You know.
You're supposed
There
to
you
mold
go.
the machine to the man, not the man to the machine. I don't get it.
I asked Santa Claus for a Glock, and he said, no.
He said, "No
Santa
guns for
doesn't
you."
give
Get a
Glocks.
bicycle.
He said, "No guns for you. You can have a bicycle."
Said no Nerfs and no Glocks.
That's right.
He told me quit
You're
crying and
paying
be a
for it,
man.
They should work.
Now, I read two
Be
different.
happy.
I heard two different stories. That Santa Claus who said no to the kid and made him cry on that video. I heard one he got fired. The other one I heard he quit because he felt so bad for making the boy cry.
I already got fired.
I doubt that he quit because he's a leftist and they have no feelings whatsoever. You know, they have no shame.
That's what I thought too.
But Nerf came out and did something super cool for the kid.
They sent a Santa Claus around to his house.
Yeah, Steven Crowder's got a whole bunch of stuff together for him. A whole bunch of people did some cool stuff for him.
Oh yeah,
I think Midnight Range even called Santa Claus himself to try to straighten it out.
I saw that video.
Yeah, that's how I found out about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, what I can understand today, that kid's got all kinds of Nerf stuff showing up his house.
Yeah, I heard they got so much stuff donated to him that now the mom, she's taking all that stuff and she's giving it out to other kids in the other toy drives where they live at.
That's good. Yeah, we had a local one when my daughter was about 6 or so that went in there and he started shaking, saying no, something about a politician or whatever, and she just looking at him like, "Who are you, fool?" And he had like a real beard, but it had that yellow tint. He was horrible. I think he was just a drunk that lived in the parking lot they picked out.
Yeah.
One year when I was a kid, we lived way back off of, like, we lived in a neighborhood of about 6 or 7 houses. And then the next neighborhood was down the road, which had about 7 houses, but then there was nothing around any of us anywhere. And an ice cream man finally started coming down, and they pulled up, like, at the top of my neighborhood. There was like this big, like, parking lot area, which is basically just the landlord's big driveway. And I can't remember what the guy said to me, but he said something foul to me and was like really, really treating me horrible. And I told my dad about it. The next day he came down, my dad beat the crap out of him and he never showed up again.
So, but the rest of the kids didn't like you, did they?
They thought it was pretty fun that watching my dad kick the crap out of the ice cream man. I mean, he worked that guy over pretty good, man.
Oh well. There we go. It's I mean, when I can't believe. I mean, how low can you get to say no? Yeah, I mean, you're only a fake Santa Claus anyway. Even if you don't believe in guns, just say, okay, we'll put it on the list, and the kid would have gone away happy as can be.
Or even if, because apparently those malls use contractors. Like that guy, those Santa Clauses don't work for the mall. They contract out.
The contractor. That's
But
what he said.
You figure that you can have some type of like game plan written down. for when a kid asks for a Playboy or a pack of cigarettes or a gun. You could be like, oh, Santa Claus doesn't specialize in that stuff. You'll have to talk to your parents about that. If I could get you a football or, a G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, I could do that. But, come up with some reason why, Super Happy Santa doesn't do that, as opposed to just saying, no, kid, you'll shoot your eye out.
Midnight Rain said they gave Kingpin mayonnaise ice cream. Is that what caused your dad to beat the shit out of you?
I would have handled that myself.
Yeah.
Did you see the story? This story here on Fox's News, like the Five or whatever they're called, talking around when they were talking about this.
Oh, by the Santa Claus?
Yeah.
No.
The one lady that's on there said if I'd been her kid, she'd have slid across that table and busted that fat ass in his face. He said that on the news.
Is that the southern lady with the red hair?
Yeah, she's got like a southern accent.
Oh yeah.
She meant that too. She's tough, man. She's still fake news, but she's tough.
Here's a question for you guys. I was thinking about it. I'm not sure if I heard it down at the Devs or heard it on TV this afternoon or read it, but didn't Ralph get kicked down the slide by Santa Claus? He said, "No, you're not having a Red Ryder. You're going to shoot yourself in the eye." No, nobody freaked out about that.
Yeah, but that was hilarious.
So,
well, he was dumb and said a football first. He needs to get his priorities straight.
Yeah. All right. I just say, I thought, well, yeah, he got kicked. He got kicked down the slide. Who's sending me shit?
I said if I'd have been there in that mall, and if I could have afforded it, I would have went down to the store and bought every Nerf gun they got. And then all the kids that was waiting in line for Santa, I'd give them all a Nerf gun. I'd line them up like my own military force. Ready, aim, fire, and let Santa have it.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, I think if he had said it, back in the day when I had kids, I think I would have jumped all over his shit too.
I heard him say that Santa was making $100 an hour.
I don't know if he was earning that much, but I bet he was getting a fair bit per day for sitting there talking to all those kids all day. I don't know how much they got paid.
Did they have him, the kid, you said across the table? Obviously, I didn't see it. I mean, it's not normal.
Yeah. COVID this year, you can't sit on Santa's lap. So they had Santa his setup, and they had like a fold up, table or whatever. So there was a space between the kids.
Yeah, it was like a picnic table type thing between them.
Yeah, and they had a little chair, and the kid gets to sit down there and talk to Santa while everybody else is in line.
Yeah. So, there we go.
I'd have cracked Santa's head off that table like the Roadhouse movie.
Yeah. Yeah, so I see Southpaw sent me a couple of emails with suggestions of foods not to eat. So I will read those after the show. Or I could open them up now and I'll look and see what they say. 5 foods to avoid with arthritis to reduce pain.
Tomatoes.
Grilled cheese.
Let me have a look. Oh, there's a whole list of different stuff here, different categories, and oh shit, man, I'm gonna starve. At least they make me lose weight. It looks like it's good stuff, So let's see. Beverages to avoid. 8 food and beverages, things with added sugar, processed and red meats, gluten containing foods. Somebody already mentioned that. They're highly processed foods, alcohol. I don't drink any. Certain vegetable oils, Food high in salt. Yeah, I heard that one. Food high in AGEs.
Does
The
it have
bottom
safe
line
foods
is,
on there?
if you have arthritis, a healthy diet and a healthy diet and lifestyle may help improve your symptoms. Healthy diet and lifestyle. Come on. Give me a break.
Mac
You
and
know?
cheese.
Yep. So there we go. I will I will actually read those later on, but the show must go on, you know. So where were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about Santa and his yeah. I'm trying to think what else happened. Do with guns and stuff. I mean, we could go into politics. You know what? Okay, I want. We'll start with Kingpin because he's gun ho. The Texas lawsuit. You think we got something there?
Well, it's good. It looks pretty good to me if it's a solid argument. And last night they had 9 other states join in, and apparently today there's 17 other states that have signed on to the lawsuit. And when you do a lawsuit like this, it automatically goes to the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court's got it on the docket, but we all know how the docket works. You know, it can sit there, but I can't see. I can't see them not at least entertaining some part of this. You know, people might not really like the sound of this, but this election's a whole lot more important than our guns. And
It is.
and everybody, I hope you understand what I mean by that. But when it comes down to a small, large, or medium-sized population of number of the country that are firearm owners and 2A advocates, compared to the vast majority of the country whose this election means everything to everybody. Whether you're pro-Trump or negative Trump or you don't care either way, this election is going to affect everybody. So I would say that if they don't hear the case, then they're absolutely derelict in their duties, and every single one of them should be removed.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I was trying to read the U.S. Code and Constitution and all this. The Constitution says Congress. Was it Congress sets today, or it was 1845? Congress came up with the Election Day bill or whatever. Why it's always the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. You know, and the Constitution says the government sets these dates up or whatever. And so what those 4 states did, or 6 states did, they broke the rules, basically. You know, from what I can figure out. So, because they decided to circumvent the Constitution to make it work for them. You know, by extending the amount of days they could have to get the ballots in there and all that kind of stuff. So I think it stands a good chance. But if it gets overturned, which I think it should, and Trump's still president for another 4 years, the tolerant left will be going out and will be doing mainly peaceful demonstrations and riots. You know,
So they'll be doing the same thing they've been doing.
Yes.
So what?
So I would say make sure everybody's carrying. Make sure you got extra magazines on you, because no matter where you're at, you could get jumped on for being a Trump fan or a Republican or a conservative, or glad it got overturned. There's a house just up the street from Deb's, which nobody's talked to them. Nobody knows them. But at the beginning of around around August, September, yard was full of Trump signs. Then, so that was September, October, it all got converted to Biden signs. And she flipped sides on us. You know, she even had Biden flags flying in her yard and all kinds of shit. So we decided if it does get overturned, we're all going to go to over to her house and cause havoc. You know, beeping our horns, waving our Trump flags and all kinds of shit. You know, so because there's very few Democrats in this part of Indiana. There is some, but this is very Trump country right here at the moment, which is strange because back in my dad's time, I'm going back 60, 70 years. You know what I'm saying? It was very democratic here. So how things change,
Well, as bad as those KKK starting Democrats back in the day, today's Democrats are a much different breed of people than those even. If you think it can't get worse, well, it did.
Oh, yeah. And New York Outcast. You there?
Yep.
Okay. I got a story, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I was very upset today. Right? We were sitting in the diner today, and about 4 or 5 young people came in. I say they were in their late teens, early 20s. Right? They came in, sat down. They were doing everything right. They came in, they were wearing their masks when they came in. They weren't from this area. And it was around 11:30, so they stopped doing breakfast at Deb's. They only did lunch because they close at 2 o'clock or something, so they're on lunch schedule. And so they all got up and said, "Oh, thank you very." They're very polite. They said, "Thank you, but we'll go find somewhere else because we really want breakfast." So they left. Where I'm going with this is there was a few people, not the crowd I hang out around with, but there were some other people sitting over in the corner. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, because how can I put this? Those 4 young people that came in were black, right? With nothing wrong with that. I said, I don't have a problem myself. But these old boys over in the corner, the stuff that was coming out of their mouth after they left, I thought it was the KKK.
Yeah, I know. It's supposedly it's gone and a thing of the past, but there's still a little bit of that out there. But
I
try not to let it bother my day or put myself in a bad spot.
But I didn't. I mean, I knew they used to be like that around here, and I've heard it growing up as a kid. And as the years gone by, it's got better and better. I know it's still out there, but as a country, I think we've got better on it.
Yeah.
Occasionally
I'll get some really bad service when I'm in a little town or something, but more times than not, people are pretty nice nowadays. So
yeah, I just shook my head. I looked at him and shaking my head like, oh, well, it proved to me one thing, that they're actually cowardly. Because why didn't they say any of that shit when they were sitting there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Or they drive by and yell it out the window, and you're like, huh? Like, oh, okay.
Did I say anything, Rick? I didn't say anything bad. Did I say anything to those guys saying stuff? No. I looked at them and shook my head at them, saying that was, like that was wrong. But I didn't say anything to them, so.
Should have laughed at him.
Yeah, but and I thought, because they just came in, wanted breakfast. They didn't have it, so they left. They didn't kick the table over or throw the chairs across the thing because they didn't get what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? They were very polite, very nice. Just like normal. Because they are normal. I just found it. It's her. I mean, I guess it was like that mother. She didn't do anything with that Santa Claus because she was so shocked when it happened. I guess I was in shock when I was hearing these guys over in the corner going off, thinking, God damn, they still talk like that, So anyway, I just didn't want to,
Next time they come in, buy their breakfast, and all of you go sit down with old boys.
Yeah, but I was I knew this where I was going with it. I know this part of Indiana back in the day. I'm going back, turn of the century, 80, 90 years ago and stuff, that it was really bad, and I didn't think it was like that here anymore. But listening to those guys in the corner, it's alive and well still. I thought, Jesus,
No, it's not alive and well still. That's not even remotely close to accurate.
Well,
There's
I'm surprised that there's still the odd person out there like that.
Okay, but that's a whole big. The odd person out there is a whole lot different than alive and well.
You're right. Bad wording on my part. I do apologize.
Well, and remember when the Democrats were chasing black people around on their horses with their stupid white hoods? A bunch of us shot them in the face.
Yeah. But I guess I was more in shock than anything to actually hear it. Because I haven't heard those kind of words in years. I think that's what I was more in shock than anything else. So anyway, moving on. I just wanted to bring that out because it kind of bothered me today. So, all right. What else is new? Anything? Come on. We still got 15 minutes to go.
I had purchased a book for the first place winners of my project.
Yes.
And it was basically, it had, I believe there's 25, maybe a couple more words of Medal of Honor recipients, right? In their words, what happened. And so this is not a refined, book. It's not through editors. It's, the way these guys that are, in their 90s and their 80s and their 70s, 60s, whatever, how they talked, right? So it's rough and crude, and I love it. But I bought the book for the winners, but it was way too big to put in the package that I had. So I kept it, and I've kind of made my daughter read it to me, right? Oh, sorry, it's not digital. I can't do it. So I, trying to show her that there's a whole ploy that I have, showing her that there's actually history and good stuff too. And besides, I want to hear all these, these guys that are accounts and everything. And there was one gentleman from World War II. He was in the 442nd, I believe, going through Italy, and he was a black guy. And there was just, his words of, what he went through and things like that. And just, hearing my daughter hit these, spots and just kind of like, I can't say that. But it was interesting because, even this guy that went through all this horrible, racism and all this stuff way in the, back in the 30s and stuff, because this was a World War II guy. Just listening to him talk and what he did as he went through, how he got through different things, how, he didn't get a Medal of Honor during that time period because nobody did, in how he kind of felt about it, his attitude against it, and that it was just, they were stupid back then, because he didn't hold a grudge, and it was really good. It was one of those things where, as you see time progress and everything, that somebody that actually lived through things that were really bad, explain that, hey, that's not how it is, and it was good. And I enjoyed it because obviously my kid, she gets to see that, I don't know. So I enjoyed that. And there was also, one of the gentlemen was a Japanese islander on Hawaii during Pearl Harbor, and he joined up and met up with a bunch of the guys that were on the mainland that were in the internment camps, and how they didn't get along until and they didn't understand why these guys were so rude, and these guys were totally different, and how these guys that were they're both Japanese, they're both Americans, but not getting along until they ended up sending the guys that were from Hawaii to Oklahoma to those camps to spend a week with some of the other families, and it drew them all together because they were like, oh wow, this was pretty bad, that the Democrats threw us in these internment camps. But it was just interesting to hear what they did and where it went after the war, and how one was a police officer, and one was worked with obviously the veterans and different things like that, but where they showed their lives up to the late 90s, early 2000s and stuff. And so we're only through maybe 6 of those stories, but yeah. So I'm gonna post that book, and I may still drop ship that to
Winners.
Yeah, a couple of them maybe. I don't know.
when does it end?
The second drawing is January 20th, right? Doing this election kind of thing, but it is a Wednesday.
All right.
But
So you got to the January 20th to get your 1776 project.
You can check it out. Yeah, and it's I'm just doing it because I want to get that out there, that there are people that have done wonderful things even though they don't teach that kind of stuff in school, and it is interesting because you can't teach people how to think. You can show them things, and then from that they can learn how to think. You can't obviously direct people how to think. I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have, but kind of putting out examples like that so that it does, conflict with, oh, well, we were just horrible. Christopher Columbus was a bad guy. Nothing good came of this or that, and actually showing some things that were positive, that had a lot of things that weren't very good, that might have been a really bad situation at the time. And then just how that progression, and then the last story that we went through in that book was a Navy guy that flew Corsairs in Korea, and actually crashed his Corsair to help out the one black pilot that made it through. And he just said, I couldn't just leave him there by himself, and it's just really interesting to see the that progression, and how at first things could be really bad just because of ignorance, and then once you learn, and I don't know. I'll stop rambling. So
Yeah. Interesting stuff. But I was going to ask, like, if you were at the coffee shop with somebody, you'd be sitting there for hours, wouldn't you? If you like
me,
yeah.
Oh, well, let's just say my daughter's first day back to face for this 3 weeks, because our lovely governor threw out this 12 more days. I think she extended it just because that pushes it to the winter break. But she says, oh yeah, you gotta you can't go back to school. And so my district said, well, 9th through 12th grade has to stay online. Everybody else goes back to school. So my daughter at the 8th grade cutoff, she went back to school today. So
okay.
Yeah, so it's been great. That's why I said I had a wonderful day today.
Oh. Kid free. Yeah. So let me do my quiz real quick because we've got a few minutes left. for this Saturday. And what I wanted to know, it was to do with the TV show, The Mandalorian. And what's her name? Gina Carano, is that you pronounce her? Was it what she played, Cara Dune in the show? I want to know what type of gun her gun's based off of. She, from what I can, the way I understand it, she's used this same firearm through the whole show, last season and this season. Then in chapter 10, I want to know the Frog Lady. Chapter 10 was called The Passenger, and it was the Frog Lady. I wanted to know the firearm or blaster, because that's what they all are, because it's science fiction stuff. What was her blaster based off of? What kind of pistol was it based off of? Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get it into me by noon Saturday. That's noon Eastern time, the only time zone that matters, to be in for the swag pack. And talking about that, I was bad. I mailed everything out that I had laying around. I even found a package down the side of the passenger seat that must be from last month or the month before. I don't know how long it's been there, but I had to open that door for a reason, and it fell out. And I went, damn. And anyway, so I mailed about 6 or 7 packages the other day. So everybody should, and if somebody has won and don't get it, this is the honor system now. If somebody won and don't get it within the next week or so, let me know, and I'll make sure I get you one. The reason I'm saying that is I normally do them up like this, ahead of time, and I got a spare one here, so I don't remember. So did I miss somebody? Is what I want to know. So that's what I'm saying. Now, Sabrina, yours might take a little bit longer than a week to get there, but it is on the way. I mailed yours the other week. Last time it took about a month to get to you. So I don't know how long it's going to take this time. Might have to go through the COVID 14-day, what's the word I'm looking for? Isolation, before the mailman will touch it. I don't know.
And you got to watch it so that it doesn't break that 1 pound mark. If it breaks that 1 pound mark, it jumps from $10 to $30 to ship them.
Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it cost me. Well, I think it was around just shy of $14 to mail that to Sabrina. Because she has a deck of cards in there and all kinds of stuff she won. But she won it, so she get. I don't have it. I don't have in the small print USA only. You know what I'm saying? The only the 48 states. In the lower half here. So there we go. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So that's done. And I'm trying to read the chat and talk at the same time, and I'm not doing a very good job of it. Yeah, 2 Live Moves said carrier pigeon is more reliable than the post office. Yeah, you're right. And another thing, too, talking about this little Amazon. I pay for the 2-day shipping. And since this COVID thing happened, it's taking longer than 2 days to get to me. I don't see them refunding my money to me. So I'm thinking about calling them up and say, hey, you ain't living up to your side of it. I'm paying for 2 days shipping and I ain't getting it in 2 days. Because a lot of times, if they don't deliver it themselves, they pass it off to the post office, and that's where it gets held up. You
got to remember to write ballot on the outside, and it'll get there 3 days before you send it.
We get the same day you sent it.
Yeah. So How is your governor doing up there in Michigan? You know?
Well, there is I believe there's a couple petitions to impeach her. I don't
Impeach her?
know. Yeah, I caught one of the Trump bus things. Anyways, they're all going all over the country or whatever. But there was I caught a little bit of it last night. The ones that stopped in Lansing, and there was they're talking about all sorts of different things. Because they're pretty long or whatever, and they were talking that they had paper ones there. Obviously, if you were at the rally or whatever, but yeah. I don't know. She doesn't call me, so
Yeah. So she doesn't call you?
no, she's
Right. That
horrible.
surprises me. Because I thought you were an important man. Jamari talks to
No,
Squid.
that's Squib. He's got more pull.
I think Squib, is on good terms with the governor of Michigan. So she's how many more years she got? 2? When she get reelected?
I'm not saying
terms?
anything.
So makes you wonder how.
I'm not saying anything in case something happens. It's not going on me, so I don't know. Yeah, 2 years or something.
She got a hit list like Hillary.
No,
I think she's on people's hit list.
Yeah, I'm not saying nothing because I.
All right. Mr. Knives is in the chat. How you doing? Long time no see from sunny Southern California. So. Oh, anybody in here from Illinois? You see that video that Guns and Gadgets put out? That town in Illinois, Deerfield, is reinstituted their assault weapons ban. It was struck down, but some judge now said it's good. You can use it. So you live in Deerfield, Illinois, you're a felon if you own one of those guns. Before it was you couldn't buy, carry, or transport it through the town. Now it's saying you can't even own one now in that town. So, no, Roll Call's not from Illinois. Roll Call lives in Indiana, I believe, right near on the border, I think. But I believe Roll Call's Indiana. So, I could be wrong, but I could have sworn he was up there right there on the line almost.
He was in the chat when you first started. I'm not too sure.
I don't know if he's still in here or not, but Squib might know. Squib's hung out with him, I think, at the rallies or something.
Yeah, he's from Indiana.
That's what I thought he was. Yeah, but I think
it's up by Michigan City or something.
He lives way up there in the corner, which is near the lake in Illinois, up in that part. I mean, he's a good 2.5 hour drive from me. He's way up there.
Did you see the Democrat Newcomb Swalwell had a China spy working in his office?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Working in his office?
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't in his office.
No,
his girlfriend.
The lady he's close to, Fang has set him up with his secretary. So
okay,
so they're possibly both. Fang's known, and the secretary at this point, to my knowledge, is still questionable. So, but it was, she was put in place by a known spy. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
She was pretty popular.
And he's on the Intel committee, ain't he?
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, but he's going to stay there because long as the Democrats got control of the House, you know, it was.
See, there's that Michigan representative. I'm not sure what she is exactly. It's not the governor there that put a post up, I guess, today. Threat, pretty much warning Trump voters to be careful. Like, we're tired of this. It's over. And telling the soldiers they know what to do. And
Oh,
all
yeah.
that crap.
Make Trump supporters pay.
Yeah. I can't think. It was during the
Was that
hearing.
West
She was
Johnson or-
the black lady in purple that was, the whole time they were beating the gavel, trying to tell her that's enough, that's enough. It's that lady. I can't think of her name,
Yeah,
though.
didn't she
Out of
tell the people,
Michigan.
Democrats to pick up arms?
So she's an elected official of some
Yeah.
sort and said this?
Yeah.
That's tyrannical, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can send you a thing
no,
later. I sent it to you, Rick.
Yeah,
I
you
sent
did.
it to you earlier. It's a
Yeah,
fairly
I
quick thing.
watched the other one on the on what's his name in California, but I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's something. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Santa. They don't care.
They're the tolerant left.
Roll call said he lives in Michigan City.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh, how terrible! Your town is named that, and you're not part of that. So, oh,
Michigan
why would somebody
City,
do that?
Indiana. You know. So, I tell you, it's way up there. It's he is. I mean, he's a fair distance from me. So, I'm down here in the rolling hills of southern Indiana. So, and he's way up there. I don't know what.
I think he lives by that. There was a big billboard that had a baby with big, huge, googly eyes, and that was by Michigan City or Gas City up there. That was back in the 2000.
Anyway, it's 8:00, so I'm about ready to wind this down. We just talked about a bunch of nothing, really. So it's been roll call says I'll come down there and you can buy me dinner at the diner.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm not saying I wouldn't drive up to where you're at, roll call, but it just I would have to make a day of it or plan to go. Make sure I got up my ass up and got it done. I've become such a stuck in the old mud now. Stay close to home. So there we go. Squibload says nothing wrong with Michigan City, Indiana. We didn't say there was. Just has funny billboards, according to Patriot.
It's just the name.
No, it's just an interesting billboard. I remember.
Okay.
I just drive that way a lot. So.
Yeah. Well, I know according to his looking at his videos, roll call lives out in the country of Michigan City because he's got country all around him. He can't shoot a goddamn deer to save his life, but he's got some great hunting videos. Yeah, I watch them every now and then. So, all right. All right, let's start up here in the corner here. Jason, any plugs or shout out?
Yeah, I'm going to do a show tomorrow night. I think we might review a Christmas movie. So stop on by if you need something to do tomorrow night. And thanks for having me. And if not, check out Roll Call. He's doing a show tomorrow night. Usually does.
Any show tonight?
Yeah, tonight. That's what I meant, tonight. I'm going to do one tomorrow.
Around 10:30, 11 o'clock it normally is. Yeah, rants and raves. All right. From the very quiet New York Outcast, any plugs or shout outs?
No, just thanks for having me. Everybody have a great night.
I thought there was something that you were going to promote, and I can't remember what in the hell it was. Didn't you have something to promote? I don't remember. I guess not. I thought there was something that you wanted to say. But now, okay, no problem. No, it must be somebody else I'm thinking of. All right, Kingpin, anything?
Yep. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, thanks for showing up. I left the link to the giveaway on my channel, sponsored by the one and only Southpaw RX. So go check that out and win some stuff.
Yes, I was watching that, and I was watching that when my cousin called me, so I didn't see the whole deal. What I got to do to win. So
It's extremely extensive. So you're going to need to limber up. Go ahead and eat dinner first and clear your schedule for about 2 or 3 days, because it's going to take a long time to just leave a comment down below.
Okay. All right. The one and only Patriot. Any plugs or shout outs?
Oh, I've been kind of on a little sabbatical, taking some time off. So I'll probably throw out some things here shortly. But I've been thinking about something that's been weighing heavily on me since all this spy stuff came out, and everybody knows that really big spy ring they have over in Europe. And I think I'll take one for the team. So if the Swedish spy team wants to send somebody over, I will hook them up. I'll give them all the top secret information I have from.
All right.
I don't know. I don't really have any. So.
Oh, well, what made me think of this? You saying that is, did you see? Was it a joke, or did I read it correctly that the Olympics are making break dancing a thing now?
Yeah.
That's so 80s.
I know it's pretty big in Thailand.
They still do that kind of shit?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that went out of fashion in the 80s here in the U.S.
No. Breakdancing's 100 times more popular than it ever was.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
It's an Olympic sport.
I don't know if I call it an Olympic sport, but when you're watching somebody who really knows how to breakdance, they're physically fit and very talented.
Okay. No, but from what I understand, it's going to be an Olympic sport now in the next Olympics.
Well, they made snowboarding an Olympic sport, so why not?
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's news to me, man. I'm glad I learned something new today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it died off too. I didn't know it was popular.
No, I thought it had died off too. But there you go.
You guys probably don't eat a bunch of acid and hang out at parties till 4 o'clock in the morning. That's why that's where the break dancers are, and a bunch of the after hours clubs.
Okay. Oh yeah, I mean it's here. Everything's closed up. As soon as it gets dark, the sidewalks are rolled up here. So.
Yeah, I thought breakdancing lasted just about as long as the parachute pants.
The only thing that goes on at night here is raccoon hunting. That's big here. But they used to get $3 a hide for raccoons. This year, the market has dropped, and they don't even pay you for them now. So a lot of raccoon hunters are just shooting them and leaving them where they drop. So I think, which is kind of cruel in a way, but they say raccoons are a real pest. They break into chicken coops and all this kind of stuff and cause havoc here in the country. So there you go. And did you know a good raccoon dog can cost you up to $5,000? Listening to these old boys talk down at the diner, I hear all this kind of stuff. I thought, damn,
Yeah, well-bred hunting dogs are expensive, and it's not a dog you can just keep in the house either.
Oh no, these dogs are kept outside. They're not pets per se, as we know it's pets.
Yeah, you'll run their sniffer bringing them in the house and letting them smell all your
Oh yeah.
home and worldly products and stuff. You'll ruin a hunting dog doing that.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, a friend of mine, he has, a friend of mine, one of the old boys that down the diner, he's got about, I think he's got 5 raccoon hunting dogs, and they all live outside. I said, "What do you do during the wintertime?" He said, "I throw in more hay and straw." He said, "I said, don't you put them in a barn or anything?" He goes, "No." He said, "They're used to living out there. He said, I give them enough straw and hay inside the dog houses. They just sort of like burrow into the middle of it when it's really cold." And he said, "They stay warm enough." He said, "The only time it gets them is if they're sick. The cold he said he had one die in the cold because it was sick. He didn't realize how sick it was. And he said he lost it. He said it froze to death. He said his dog did because he was poorly. He said, no, but if they're fit and healthy, he said it doesn't bother him in the slightest. You know? So, all right. That's all. That's about all I've got. It's 8:11 now, so I'm heading out of here. Everybody's done their goodbyes and all that, so I want to say thank you for everybody for stopping by in the chat just to listen to us ramble tonight. Didn't have a lot of topics, but we got some stuff covered, and I really appreciate it. Mind you, Mr. Knives, I bet you Mr. Knives is a great break dancer. He just seems that type of guy. Just with his, his ninja icon, avatar, and everything else,
He could spin on the back of that shell he could spin on that shell forever.
That's what I was thinking. That's what made me say it. He could really spin around on that shell, So, all right. I want to say thank you all for being here, and I will be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. So I will see you all then. So good night, everybody.
Bye, Sabrina.
Go Bucks.
All right, we're over.